All is not well on the continent. France should have been celebrating Paris Saint-Germain's Champions League victory last night, but the scene soon turned to fire, destruction and death at the hands of rioters. But astonishing pictures from the French capital you can see here on your screen left 2 dead, 200 injured and 500 arrested after a night of shame. I don't know about you, but I remember France as a beacon of beauty, Paris in the crown, the jewel in its crown, full of history, class and tradition. So how did they get to this? And while Paris burned, flags of Morocco and Palestine were being proudly waved amid the flames. So as France continues to accept its fate and surrender its demise to hostile guests, what's happening on the English Channel? What kind of people are making the journey from Calais to Dover? Yeah, those were gunshots you heard on that video. The question I have is, why would a refugee want to share a video of his journey to England accompanied by dubbed over gunshots? Who does that? Almost 1,200 unknown men from faraway lands came over to Britain yesterday on small boats. It's a disgraceful daily record that shames our political leaders and puts the safety of Britain at risk. Our women, our children. This is what the French police were doing at the time, standing and taking pictures. You can see it on your screen now. We give them £500 million a year for this. And this is today's Sunday Telegraph newspaper. Take a good look at the front page because it's a picture to remember. Where are all the women and the children? Can you spot any? Tonight's introduction is going to be short and sweet because, quite frankly, I've nothing more to say on this spiralling invasion of England's southern border that's not been said already. It's a disgrace, it's unforgivable, and it's evil. Let's get the thoughts now of my panel. GB News contributor Will Kingston, the political commentator Chloe Dobbs, and the broadcaster Andy Williams. Good evening, panel.
Good evening.
G'day. Hope you've had a good day, a pleasant weekend. Chloe, what's your thoughts on this? I just lost the motivation tonight to really get angry about this. It's more despair, in actual fact. And seeing the scenes in France yesterday made me fear for what could happen in Britain next.
Yeah, I think just all across the West generally, we are seeing law and order going out the window. Now, I mean, a lot of people are saying online that this is all migrants rioting, and it was the case that there were a lot of French teenagers and young people getting involved as well. I think young people in the West as well, not just migrants, are very much, I call them feral, to be honest. They're not parented properly, they're not taught how to behave properly, and things spread so quickly on Snapchat and social media. One teenager says, hey, there's a fire, there's a kicking off on the Champs-Elysees where we saw a lot of stuff, and suddenly they're all come running in.
Do you think it's just kids? Do you think it's just youths?
No, I don't. No, I don't think that's the case. I think it's a mixture, but I think it is very worrying. And on the question of, are we importing this sort of chaos into Britain, I think regardless of whether it was migrants involved in that or not, I've been in those camps in Calais, and it was absolutely crazy in them. I mean, there are all sorts of fights kicking off. People seem completely out of control. And the reality is that the countries that these people are coming from, they're coming from countries where there isn't law and order. So what do you expect? And
Will, what did you make of that video? Actually, Nigel Farage shared it earlier. The video recorded on the 31st of May, which was, yesterday. A boatload of migrants coming over, accompanied by gunshots dubbed over. I mean, what the hell is that about?
Yeah, I'll get to that video. But, Chloe, I would expect that sort of fudge from Andy. I would not expect that sort of fudge from you.
She's gone liberal.
She's gone liberal, yeah, that's exactly right. This is not a youth problem in inverted commas. We all know, including the French Interior Minister, who said himself, this is the result of barbarians coming from cultures that do not share our values. Admittedly, the French love a riot. I get that entirely, and they've loved a riot for some time. But when the French Interior Minister himself is saying this is a result of their policies, you've got to step up and take notice. And you're very right to say that video that Farage put up is directly relevant to this, because those people, France is the first or the last stop before they do come here.
Here it is now. So the French, just to clarify, the French Interior Minister called them barbarians.
He did.
Wow.
I can give you the complete quote, and it was, I can't pronounce his name. It's a bit like Ratatouille, but please pass that on to the audience.
That will do.
The violence was perpetrated by barbarians who have come to Paris to commit offences and to provoke the forces of law and order in the time.
Well, Andy, you saw on that video there, I mean, arguably, potentially, the very same people, the very same ilk, were on boats yesterday coming to Britain. 1,200 people, a daily record.
I genuinely don't understand what the link is, the supposed link is, between what happened in Paris last night and migrants coming over on small boats.
Because it was migrants rioting in Paris.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was. You saw the flags. What flags were they waving, Andy?
A Moroccan flag. And it could easily
be... Do French people wave Moroccan flags?
Quite possibly, because they might have been born in France and be of Moroccan heritage. They absolutely could be. You have no... No, but it's absolutely true. You have no idea.
Interesting mental gymnastics.
No, it's not mental gymnastics. It's that you don't have a clue.
It's still an immigration problem. It's just second-generation immigrants.
But hang on. So what happened in Paris yesterday is a football hooliganism problem. It is... No, but it is.
Andy, two people died, mate.
Yeah, I know. That is a football hooliganism problem. There was hooliganism in this country that was rife throughout the 80s. It caused
how many of the fans we saw on screen there do you think went to the match?
Can I just have my say?
Go on then.
So, not that many of them, but the genesis of it is that PSG won the Champions League last night. In European football culture, I don't know if any of you guys are football fans, I am. In European football culture, and I'm not condoning this, it's just a fact, there are ultras who are hardcore groups of fans who love nothing more than to cause this type of chaos. And what they've done is they've gone out and used the excuse of PSG winning a trophy to riot, and all of the bad eggs in Paris have gone, as Chloe was alluding to, these sorts of things spread like wildfire on social media. Everyone goes, here's an excuse for a scrap. Let's go.
PSG...
Some of them might be migrants. They might not be. You don't know that. You've not got a clue.
All right.
There's no evidence whatsoever of that.
PSG came to London for the Arsenal match. Why was there no violence then?
Well, firstly, because they hadn't won the biggest competition in football.
Right, so PSG fans, so it's just because they won something they behave like, as the Interior Minister said, barbarians. 2 people die in circumstances unknown, but when they come to London, everything's fine.
My point is that nobody here has given me even a shred of evidence that anything that happened last night was to do with migrants.
Well, I imagine the French Interior Minister has pretty good evidence at hand to be able to make a comment like that.
He didn't say that, though, Will. He said barbarians coming to Paris. You don't know what when he says coming to Paris. No, but you genuinely don't.
Just none of you the south of
none
France
of you have
for the weekend.
You don't like it because none of
barbarians in the south of France for the weekend.
None of you have
possibly mean the people coming in from the dodgy outskirts into the usually
I
more
think that's
right.
Very unlikely.
None of you have any evidence that this has anything to do with migration.
When we were at the Euro final and they were hosting it, showing it on the screen in Trafalgar Square, I was there, and me and my friend, we were absolutely terrified because there were people like smashing up Boris bikes and setting off fireworks in the middle of the crowd. Yeah.
Yes.
I think that what happens, regardless of who is responsible for starting it, whether they're at the match or not, what happens with these things is you get 1 or 2 idiots start something and then everyone gets involved and it spreads like wildfire. And there's no reason for people to have needed to be angry in Paris yesterday because, I mean, the French won the match, right? So it's not like this...
No, but that's my point, is that there are a subset of football fans who are football fans because they go round the country exporting violence to wherever the away game is that weekend. I've been to over 400 football matches. I've seen it. I know what I'm talking
just
about.
By chance, sorry, well, I'll let you come in one sec. So just by chance, massive coincidence, right? The first time we've ever seen this from PSG fans was last night. They've got across the entire season. They've played maybe 60 games this season.
Do you follow the French league very closely, Ben? There are PSG fans who cause this kind of chaos every week. This is on a different scale because they've won the Champions League.
I follow
this is
a lot of European football, and I've not heard of 2 people dying, 500 people being arrested, and hundreds injured. Paris burning to an ember over a football match. It's not been seen this season. I don't care what you say, Andy. I'm sorry, it's not been seen this season.
Yeah.
Well, sorry.
The point is, even if the genesis of this was the football game, it is more likely that widespread violence will take place in a society where you do have this so-called multicultural policy, you have lower trust, and you have a position where people are simply, on edge. We've heard from people like David Betts, King's College Professor of War, that there are all the conditions in place in this country, in the United Kingdom, for civil war in the next 5 to 10 years. This is no longer something that was consigned to history. This is very much a possibility now, and we need to wake up to these types of threats.
We had riots in this country last summer, and the vast preponderance of people who were rioting were British people, were white British people, were not migrants.
They were as a result of cultural fracture.
There is no
because
excuse.
of the legal and illegal immigration policy.
There is no excuse.
In this country.
Just finally, Andy, just 1,200, a record on the boats yesterday. Any comment on that?
It's indefensible.
Yeah. All right. Is what it is, I guess.
Agreed.
I mean, I don't know what to do about it. As I said, I'm just devoid of much anger anymore about it. I'm more,
Same story every week.
I mean, how many talking points have we got on this channel to talk about the small boats? It's just, I'm just in complete despair, and I fear for the country. Actually, I fear for mainly women. I fear for children. I fear for my kids. But
and the statement from the Home Office from that is, "Oh, don't worry, the plan is working. We're smashing the gangs."
Yeah, right.
Just blame the Tories. They're not interested in
Bunch
getting
of-
serious about the problem,
bunch
are
of
they?
clowns.